everybody. We really appreciate you taking the time out of our busy lives to carve out and come be part of this call. And, you'll see our excitement and what a opportunity and um, gift it's going to be to create this book as a team, as a community. And we'll share more about that. And Mary Rose can share some. And she was part of the last book, and Tina and stuff. But before we get started, I'm just going to invite everybody to take a great big deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And if you're comfortable, just allowing your eyes to close for a moment. As we take a few deep cleansing breaths, just allowing our attention to kind of move off of our busy lives, the to-do lists, the chores, the details, and just coming into silence and stillness for a few moments. And really, as we bring our attention and our awareness into the body, the witness shows up. We begin to perceive ourselves and our relationship to the world. So taking another deep breath, and in our own way, however that is for each of you, just calling in any helpers, guides, spirit keepers, angels, come and be with us as we communicate and help us to know and understand if this is right, if this is the time for us to step into this portal, this magical portal, and of course, Peru. So taking another deep breath and gently just allowing yourselves to come back.
Hello, everybody. My name is Stephanie Urbina Jones. For those of y'all who don't know me, I am the co-founder of Freedom, Folk, and Soul and the lead and co-lead author of the Shaman Heart series. And I'm so excited that you're all here. I know it's by no coincidence, and I'm so excited that the human being that is going to be leading this author's journey with us, Jorge Luis Delgado, is coming in tonight to share the wisdom, the love, the medicine, and the vision and experiences from Peru. And before we share a little bit with Jorge, we want to share with you a little bit about how all of this started and kind of what you've kind of come into. 2.5 years ago, I was minding my business like many of you, and I got invited to become a part of a book with Brave Healer Productions called Sacred Death. And I was called to share my story of midwifing my grandmother from this world to the next. And the experience was so incredibly profound when I started to write my story that I had a vision of like, oh my goodness, what was awakening in me? What was happening inside of me? What was being empowered and guided through this process of owning my life and my words? That I had this vision of like, what if we created an author's journey? What if 25 authors came together on a journey to create a field and a story to all bring and narrate a collective field of energy to bring to the world? What would happen to us? And what would happen with that book? And what happened was that we all gathered 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, in the pyramids of Teotihuacan, and we journeyed together over a week. And 25 authors created and wrote our own story for Shaman Heart, turning pain into passion and purpose. and what was awakened in each of us, what was healed, what was transformed, and what happened through us when that book came out changed each of our lives and thousands of more people. And from that experience, we decided to take on another author's journey, and we wrote what became Shaman Heart Sacred Rebel. That was this book. This was the first book. And again, so incredibly powerful. There are some authors here from both of those books, and they're back because of what happened inside of them. And so this next book is honestly, it's the culmination of, mine and Jeremy's well over 20 years of experience in the healing arts and our experience and passion to bring our pain, our passion, our purpose into the new earth. We all are conscious creators. We've all been planting our seeds. We've all been dreaming into this new earth. We are the priests and priestess of what is coming. And this next book, Shaman Heart, Turning Pain into Passion, Shaman Heart, we are the ones we've been waiting for, will be our opportunity to create and curate a new narrative for our times, right? We are the leaders. Every one of us that are on here, you heard the call to come and be a part. So it's a number of things that are going to be happening. It's a 2-week journey led with us and our publisher, Laura DeFranco, and then Jorge Luis Delgado, who you're just going to get to meet and hear from tonight. And we're going to spend 2 weeks starting in the Sacred Valley and journeying to Machu Picchu, and then to Cusco, and then journeying to Lake Titicaca, which is said to be the birthplace of the children of the sun at this most incredible time on the planet. And through this 2-week journey, we are going to awaken our sacred hearts. We're going to awaken, ignite, look at our lives and transform them through our words into the power that we are. And collectively, we're going to share our stories in this book that will then come out in January of 2025. The whole journey over 6 months will rock your world. You will not be the same after this 6 months. The journey, it just will continue to awaken the leader in you. So we're excited that you're here. We're going to share a little bit about the journey up ahead. I want to turn this over to Jeremy Pager, who will be co-leading this book.
Well, hello, I'm Jeremy Pager, the other half of Freedom, Folk, and Soul. And I'm just really grateful to see all y'all for the first time, new faces. And I think some of the best thing is some of the past authors will share, but what I'll share about is, my own personal experience. And I've been in the healing arts world for 22 years. I got to this world really from pain. And, continually, dove in and was vulnerable and brought forth my vulnerability in my work. And so it is the culmination. These 3 books have been the culmination of 20 years of work. But what I will say is one of the main things that we do at Freedom, Folk, and Soul is we really love to empower people. You are your own healer. You are your own medicine man or medicine woman, right? You are the portal. And this book, we are the ones we've been waiting for, is that we are the ones that are our own salvation. On top of, many indigenous tribes have talked about this time on the earth, and there's big changes happening on the earth right now, and us sharing our story, sharing our medicine, sharing our vulnerability, creating a book that is going to be the catalyst for more transformation on the earth. And on a personal level, this journey, this whole process that we put together is like has three facets. It's almost like three completely different power journeys in of itself. One, we come together in Peru, which, by the way, Peru is not on my bucket list. And we went a couple of years ago, and it is my favorite place on this earth, right? And I've been a lot of places on this earth. It rocked my world. I mean, from one thing to the next, I was like, oh my God, you can't be better than this. Oh, yep, the next thing's better than this. Um, absolutely. And there is nothing can prepare you. I don't care how many pictures you've seen to be standing on top of the mountain overlooking Machu Picchu. Nothing can prepare you for what that feels like, the energy of that, the magic of that, the opening and awakening of that. And that is just one piece of what Peru has to offer. I know that's like the focal point, it seems, for a lot of people. And it wasn't my favorite part. So that tells you something. But so there's this whole journey, this community, this connection, this transformation that we'll be doing over 2 weeks in Peru. And then we all go home, and there's about 3 weeks where we're writing our chapter, and that becomes an initiation in of itself and vulnerable. And oh, can I really say this? Can I really put these words? And so that becomes a whole process. And you will be what this is not just the journey. It's like we will have coaching, there'll be support. You will be so supported through this process as you step. And I don't know all of you, but as we really step into our own medicine, our own message, our own messengers, right? And so that's the two. And then the third one is when the book comes out, right? And there's like, oh my God, the baby, we had the baby. Now you can't put the baby back in, right? And so there's two or three authors on here that will tell you it's such an in-depth, magical, beautiful experience that will change you, that will take you to the next level as a healer, as a teacher, as a motivational, whatever it is that you're rocking in the world, and so after Jorge shares, I would love to hear from Mary Rose and Tina and some of the people that have been in our past groups. And lastly, we'll go over a little bit more of the logistics and how it all works, and open this up for any questions. But simply 25 people will come together and we will do the journey, and then we will all go home and write a chapter. And each one of those chapters will become a chapter in the book. And me and Steph, as the lead author, will do the intro and the last chapter. But the collective energy of what we're doing, this story of like, how have we? This is how I see it. How have we been our own salvation? How have we been our own healer? How have we been our own guru? Right? How have we stepped in courageously to our healing and brought that forth for ourselves? Talk about an amazing book of 25 of those stories. That's going to be amazing. So anyway.
Well, before we introduce Jorge, we're so happy that he could be here. We are privileged in that we've been given the opportunity to travel and work with a number of, people that are wonderful in this world of healing, the new thought teachers, understanding seers. But when we were invited to come and to work with Jorge, it really something alchemized in mine and Jeremy's heart over our 2-week journey in Peru with Jorge 2 years ago. The way he lives taught me how to live. And you will be amazed by the medicine every day that comes through him and the ceremonies and initiation. Um, so we wanted to invite Jorge in to just share a little bit of his love and wisdom in medicine. So take it away, Jorge.
Oh, thank you. It's always so great joy to reconnect and to be part of this beautiful circle. And in special in this very unique, special cycle we starting together. We have such a privilege, to be in this beautiful Mother Earth together. Something very beautiful. Besides that, we have something to tell to our families, to our communities, to the world, our histories. We have something beautiful. All this beautiful, beautiful light coming through each of us because we are in this very moment shining for the new day. This is the new Pachacuti. But we have two kinds of Pachacutis. People is very much connected with the Pachacuti of the night, because the Pachacuti of the night, when everything is chaotic, and well, both Pachacutis are chaotic at some point. But when the Spanish arrived, for example, the last Pachacuti for us in our country, Peru, uh, everything was chaotic, big changes in all aspects. But that was the Pachacuti to the night. We've been entering to the night. What is beautiful now, we have this chaos, we have all this, but we are getting into the daytime. I mean, we are experiencing the sunrise. That's huge difference, of course. So that's why we call this new cycle the Wilcacuti. So what is Wilka? Wilka is the sun, Wilka is the light, Wilka is divine, Wilka is sacred. Kuti is the return. So the return to the inner self, the return to the sacred self, the return to the divine self, to the return to all that we see as sacred, as divine, as light, as really the connection with the core of the light that it is in all the super universes. That encounter we call Ipaipacha. This is the time when we find ourselves. Finally, you see in the world people talking about the different problems we have in our world. Some people will talk about, it's about the system. Some people about the ecology, about many things. And many intellectuals will say, all is about the mind. It's all about, the logical ways, the rational ways. We have to have a rational society to have progress, to develop so much theories. After all these cycles and cycles, we see that finally we are getting the messages of thousands of masters came to remember us. The same message. It has to do with each of us. It has to do with this ray of light that's here to shine, to illuminate the new world. So for us, it's a huge privilege to welcome you in the sacred lands of the children of the sun. To be at the birthplace of the children of the sun, that for us is sacred Titicaca. To be in Machu Picchu, to become Machu Picchu, in the bubble of light of Machu Picchu, it's huge. But, it's not really about what we want to talk, what kind of theories we have about those places. It's really about our own experience, how we weave the golden threads how we bring our message as we experience life from our hearts. So it's very clear, the pathway for each of us. It is our heart. You already published the books. Huh? That's fantastic. So now we are in this huge moment, really to unveil the real self. Thank you for inviting me to be part of this circle.
Jorge, did y'all feel that? Can you feel that? You'd be amazed. Jorge, you're out there with him every day, and we do ceremonies and initiations to mark every moment and to bring it into embody it, to alchemize our experience, to become, as he said, the apus. You really do kind of feel that. Also, I wanted to share this with you guys. You can't make this up. So the prophecy of the Rainbow Warriors, as told by Standing Bear Lakota Elder in the year 2000, there will come a day when people of all races will put aside the differences and come together as one. Black Elk spoke about a vision of a rainbow tribe of many colors. Crazy Horse also had a vision where he saw his people alongside brothers and sisters of all nations dancing around the sacred tree. Many other indigenous cultures have their version of the rainbow prophecy, and its message is the same: unity, healing, and peace. There will be called rainbow warriors. Great leaders, warriors, and shamans of many nations will be born to be pathfinders, and they will cleanse the earth for rebirth. Next will come the planters sowing seeds of truth, justice, and freedom. The storytellers, warriors, and planters will live in the way of the Great Spirit and teach us ways to keep Mother of the Ground sacred forevermore. They will be called the Rainbow Warriors. The prophecy of the Rainbow Warriors. Oh, so exciting, y'all. Really, I mean, it's just so amazing to think that I could never have imagined. You mean my life, my story, my history, my pain makes me an expert? Yes, yes, because we have continued to transform those stories, that lineage. We believe that our ancestors are coming to us and through us, that they want us to transform whatever the lineage that is not working that we've been carrying. And that through the ceremony and this journey together, we will do that and then create this field through this book.
Yeah, I mean, I want to hear from Mary Rose and some of the past participants because I think they both can, they can best kind of share what this whole process has been for them. But, 2 years ago when we started this, I was terrified. I had, if you read the first book, it starts off with, oh my God, what did I decide to do? I can't believe I chose, and I had so much anxiety because I had some writing trauma. And it through all of the processes, the journey, each of the initiations, like Laura DeFranco, who could not be here tonight, our publisher, who sends her apologies. She's not feeling well. She will be doing writing prompts, and she really, in such a simple, beautiful way, teaches us all how to be really good writers, how to be captivating writers. And I learned so much from, the processes in which she brought forth. And so not only is this like magical, amazing, transformative journey happening, but we're also learning how to be writers, right? We're learning how to take what's inside of us and bring it and put it on the page so that it can ripple out. Not every story in the book is going to be for everyone, right? But your story is going to be for some people, and that's the story they need to hear. And so, yeah, obviously we're excited.
Yes.
It's going to be amazing. Who wants to share? Who's been?
Why don't
Mary
we,
Rose?
yeah, let's ask Mary Rose. We'd love to hear from you.
Yay! Thank you for having me. I hope it's not too loud. There are cars going by and a puppy that really wants my attention. But I am so honored to be here tonight. Okay, gotta hold the puppy. There we go. I don't know how Bumble is. Here we go. So I went to Teotihuacan last year to be published in the Sacred Rebel book, and I didn't go to be published. I went there searching for something inside of myself. And I think that is the most important part of deciding to be a part of this journey. I was just called to the journey. So trusting the call, I think, is the hardest part for a lot of people, and then responding to that and just showing up and seeing how your life will transform just from stepping into something you knew was right for you. And I consider that quantum leaping, you know, and going to the Dreaming House in Teotihuacan and getting to connect with so many people. And our publisher is incredible, you know, learning how to write and how to trust your heart and trust your intuition, and that you can't do it wrong, you know, is a huge part of this. And so to go to Machu Picchu, I'm going a second time. That's how excited I am. I actually went way before I started working with Jeremy and Stephanie, which has been 4 years now. And it was the first place I knew as a little girl that I wanted to go was Machu Picchu. So to go back again, I'm very excited, and to have such a strong heart connection with this space, rather than like when I went before was more about like just leaving where I knew I was familiar with, versus like going to be a part of something and connected to something that I knew was bigger than me. And that's what this trip is for me. So I'm really excited to work with all the guides that are involved in this, and to really take the time to find the story that's meant to be a puzzle piece to this bigger picture that we're all finding out, you know, that we're connected to. So all I can say at the end of all of that is just that you're in really great hands in this space, and the transformation is huge. And if you feel called to just listen to it, that's what I have the most. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Rose.
Thank you, Mary Rose. Where you want to go, Tina?
Let's hear from Tina Green.
Tina Green. Very own Tina Green.
And one of you guys text Natalie the link. She just like literally this second texted me and said, "Can you send me the link?" Yeah. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Tina Green, and I have been in both of the Shaman Heart books that that we've done, both in Teotihuacan, and I have to say that first one I did, I agree with everything Mary Rose said, like listen to that call, because I definitely felt called. And at the time, one of the things I was working on was body shame, and working through my body shame. And I wrote about it in that book. I wrote about exposing the roots of body shame and carving out a path to self-love and acceptance. And that writing about it was huge for me. I mean, I have to say, this was like a huge thing that I was in the process of working through, and I had really just come through to the other side. And here I was writing about it and saying things in my chapter that I had never like really said to anybody outside of, a small group of people. And so in writing my story and putting it out in the world was huge for me. It was scary, but also like what it did for me was it took the charge out of it. It was scary, and I went through a lot of emotions, but it really helped me like go all the way across the finish line with it. Because then after the book was published, I did several book readings, 3 of them in total. And I had no charge when I was standing in front of a room full of strangers reading about the roots of my body shame and some of the things that took place. And so I just, in addition to being like excited about becoming a published author in a book like this, and meeting all the people that I met on the journey and having like the deep, deep spiritual experience in Teotihuacan with all those people, I also experienced great healing through writing the book. And then to have people, and then for like months afterwards, I still am, but it was really heavy for a few months. I was in the conversation of body shame, constantly people like reaching out to me, wanting to talk about body shame and wanting to share their story or wanting to ask questions and things like that. And it was really profound experience. And then the second book I wrote about taking a stand for myself and moving from codependence to self-love. And that was also incredibly powerful for me. So every one of these books, so not only that, but in participating in these books, I was inspired to lead a book myself called The Life-Changing Power of Self-Love. And another book I wrote in was, and there's a point to me saying this, another book I wrote in was called Rites and Rituals, Harnessing the Power of Sacred Ceremony. And both of us that led those authors came from Stephanie's original Shaman Heart, Turning Pain into Passion and Purpose. So two people from that book were inspired to go out and lead books of their own. You know, they got empowered through the process. And I think that, I don't know, there's not enough I can say about it, but the people that I've been on these journeys with, and like Suzanne, I haven't seen her since January, since we were on the journey together, but like in person, that is. I've seen her on Zoom, but I feel a bond with her. Like I feel a bond with Mary Rose because we did this together, you know, and that'll always be there, you know. And I'm really excited to go to Peru because I got the chance to be with Jorge. I went with Jeremy and Stephanie to Egypt, and I can't wait to be in Jorge's presence again. Honestly, I'm excited about that. And to be on his home turf and to feel all the magic of Peru and everything.
Unbelievable. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Tina. Yeah. Well, I would love to hear from you, Suzanne. Would you like to share? Sometimes it's helpful to hear from authors, like what's happened in your life. How did this change your life?
Well, okay. So I feel like my Sacred Rebel came up in the book and I wrote off topic. So everybody else is writing about their moment of, you know, when they were in their youth or whatever, when they had this fierce, sacred, rebellious side. And I went with what was up for me at the time, which was being a caregiver, first for my father. And then and he had passed by the time we were there, but I was in the process of caring for my aunt. While we were in Teo, I was taking a little break for myself, and she was in hospice care. And so I wrote about this experience as a caregiver for my dad. And little did I know, I mean, I was aware that I was going to be returning to care for my aunt if she was still there when I got back, and she was. But little did I know my mother was also going to get very sick shortly after I finished writing and for this book and then one other book that I participated in. And so I ended up going back and being in like several months of being a caregiver for two of the most important people of my life. And so what ended up happening from my chapter in the book was that it was like my daily instruction guide, because I was my chapter was Sacred Caregiving, the Gift of Receiving While Giving to Others. And so it was about finding those moments for myself, learning how to care for myself in the midst of caring for others, and keeping things sacred and some of the most challenging experiences of my life, and you know, how to honor my family and all of that. So it became my, you know, when I would find myself getting out of balance, I'm like, okay, I had a practice in this book that I offered, and I had all of these things that I shared about. I'm like, so I was able to kind of pull back in and go back to my own chapter and read from that, and being able to read everybody else's chapter too while I was there was a huge help too, because like Tina said, we had this bond that was so powerful. with our group. And I will say, so the next book I also wrote, and Bites of Light, which was actually Jorge was in that book as well. And so I haven't met him in person, but I've already been in a book with him. So that's kind of a cool thing. I'm excited about meeting him, hopefully. In that book, it was also very powerful, but we didn't get together. There was one little thing for a couple of days in Utah where people got together after we had already written the chapters. I was not able to go to that, but it wasn't the same as this group that we had in Teo, like we're going to have in Peru, you know, like where we're all together moving through the experience and having this sacred journey together. And so that really excites me about this too, is to continue with the bonds I've already created from prior experiences, but then to make new connections and create new bonds and just kind of see where this takes us. I mean, I've still got my red thread from a year ago. I know.
Me too. Me too.
So, you know, there are times when the day is rough and I'm like, oh, look at that though. I'm still connected to these people that, you know,
Yeah.
kind of, we were all each other's midwives, I think, or doulas, like helping each other through the process of birthing a book. So anyway, yeah, I'm excited. I don't know for sure that I'm going yet. As Stephanie and Jeremy know, I always really take the time to feel into things before I make a decision, and trust my intuition. And there are times when my busy brain is like, yes, I want to go, you know, like I want to do this, but I don't feel that it's right. And then the reason becomes clear. And so with this, I feel like I'm at the beginning. I haven't even landed from everything else that's been going on. So I feel like I need to ground. I just went to Ecuador and the Amazon last month, or well, in December. And then in January, I went back to Florida to kind of finish things up there with my parents' home and my aunt's home. So I feel like I haven't even landed back in my own world yet. So I'm going to take some time with this though, but just seeing you all here gives me that like
Great to see you. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Suzanne, for
So,
sharing.
yeah,
it
so I
really
will
is.
be.
It is really
Yeah.
powerful what happens
It
because
really is.
you are together for 2 weeks. We were together for 1 week, and you're doing
know.
ceremony and initiations. You get really safe. You get really vulnerable, and from that vulnerability, new truth is born. You know, so let's hear from Lisa Newton.
And we'll get into some more of the logistics for y'all. And yeah.
Hey guys. I was can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
We lost your
Okay.
video though.
Oh, okay. Let's see if I can fix that. Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna figure that out. So I met Stephanie on Sacred Death, and then on that book, and then I joined them in Teo for the first book, which was very transformational for me. 2 days ago, my bracelet fell off. I was like, no. So I'm definitely called to the trip. My life has been elevated and at peace and transformed. I don't even live in the same place I did 2 years ago. Just wonderful. I'm looking for this trip, not only for the beauty of where we're going and always wanting to go there, but I'm really looking for some answers and guidance to find out what's next, because who knows? And I love being part of the idea of part of the rainbow people. And everything that's happening with the changes in the world. And so I'm in, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you, I hope.
So great to see you. It's so great to see you. And I see the change in you. It's amazing. I really wish we could all, you know, we need to take pictures before and after, because, you know, we just shift so much. We want to answer any of your questions. We want to share some of the logistics, because people are like, how does this really work? And it really is. It's a 6-month commitment starting in August, the beginning of August. We have 2 different informational Zooms. The first one is an opening ceremony online to call in the energy and our intention, and to begin gathering that intimacy and that connection between all of us. 2 weeks later, we'll be online with Laura, and she will go through the entire what's going to be happening over the next 6 months. So you can calendar it and you can drop into, begin to what this is going to look like for your life, because you're really going to be following this thread that we're going to be holding for you. I want to tell you that if you do decide to do this, we have Ruthie Souther, who is our writing wrangler. She's an amazing publisher and writer in her own right. And she works with everybody throughout the process to help, like Laura, bring through those truths. And when we get to, those stories that want to be born, so you're going to be supported. And then
Well, and then Tina Green, who's on here with us, is an integral part of Freedom, Folk, and Soul, but she will also be an integral part of this book and supporting us and communication. And just because, sometimes when we get into the writing thing, it's like we get regressed, and what date was that, or what time was it supposed to be due, or, all those little things. And so it's nice to know that you have, at your fingertips, that information. And it's really done really well. And so pretty soon, I think, well, a week before the journey starts, you'll have to have your first temporary title, it's a whole beautiful process. And then we go on the journey.
So we meet in August the 22nd. You will be connecting directly with Jeremy to make sure that you know exactly when you're going to fly in. You're going to be supported on making those decisions. And as soon as you arrive in Cusco, we will meet you, and the journey will begin right there. And we go into the Sacred Valley and stay at this most gorgeous hotel of Jorge's that is set up as a ceremonial space, every bit of it. And we will begin to drop into this experience and the dream of this book.
Yeah, yeah, there's nothing else to be said. We'll be doing 2 weeks. During that, we'll have writing classes and writing prompts and writing support. And then we'll all go home and we'll have about 3 weeks to write our chapter. And so each person will write a chapter. It's 2,500 words with what we call your medicine. And so you will have a story, you will write, your message, your story, and then after that, each person will have their medicine. And what that is some practical, something that somebody could do in that moment to help facilitate their transformation. So a tool, an experience, a prompt, something like that. And we'll of course talk much more detail on how to do that, what that is. And then of course you'll have your bio will be another 500 words. And so each person's bio will be in there. And at the end of each chapter, there'll be places for your links to your Facebook. And that's a whole nother aspect we haven't talked about, but we really help facilitate people into stepping into who they are. And you don't have to, right? You get to decide what level you want to put yourself out in the world or who you want to be. It's like I tell our students all the time, we don't need another Jeremy and Stephanie. We already exist. We need another Lisa and Tina, and Jorge. Like we need each of you to be your own, messenger. And so that process will happen during that 3 weeks. We'll have writing coaching classes that will be via Zoom. You'll have constant support to our writing wrangler. Also, Laura, who's not on here, is so responsive. She's amazing. I've called her many times. She'll support you. She'll call you right back. I mean, to have that direct access to our publisher is a gift, and she is a wealth of knowledge. And so it's like multifaceted. And it's like we're on this amazing journey. We're becoming, by the way, I don't think we said this, but both of our books were #1 bestsellers on Amazon, just in case that stokes you. And the first book was like, what, 47 out of all of them or something. I don't know. It was crazy. It was #1 in 9 categories. It was amazing.
It was amazing. It's amazing. And that's what
That's like gravy to me, you know. It's fun, but yeah.
But there is something really, you know, it's really cool to be doing this together because we're going to become so tight from this experience. And so then we move together as an energy field of love with these stories supporting each other as we come through this experience, you know. After we write, then we'll be editing.
We'll have a little break.
Right.
You rewrite.
You'll be doing interviews with Brave Healer Productions. Again, all these are opportunities and experience that call you forward to own your life, to own your story, to own your wisdom, you know? And then in January 2025, our book, Shaman Heart, We Are the Ones We've Been Waiting For, will come out. And it will be amazing. It is amazing. It's amazing. And of course, you know, I've been excited about both the books, but I'm especially excited about this, what we're going to be bringing, this title, you know, and this journey together. So we have 20 spots. We have not even shared this publicly. This has been by invitation only. We really want people to feel the call in their hearts, you know, and we're available to take a one-on-one conversation if you need that or you want that, if you have to answer any questions. We do
be happy to.
Yeah. So we have an early bird special that is going to be ending pretty quickly on February the 15th. And so it's an opportunity for you to get your deposit of $1,500 in to hold your spot. And then, you know, you can work with us to, you know, pay the rest of it's $66.99. And that includes your journey in Peru, everything but your flight and some meals.
It doesn't cover meals. It covers breakfast, your journey, all the transfer, everything, plus authorship in the book, plus all the coaching support. So what it doesn't include is your international airfare. There's one domestic flight that's normally about $125. It doesn't include that, and tips, and then your food, right? And so depending on, you know, if you're interested, we have all that information, like how much food is every day and, you know, all the different things. But it's 2 weeks, you know, and it's an amazing, and we stay at 4- and 5-star hotels. Most of them are owned by Mr. Jorge Luis Delgado up there, and they're magical. And, you know, he being who he is, there's intent in every stone, you know, like you feel it, you absolutely feel it. And so we're in Sacred Valley for a good chunk. We're in Cusco for a little bit. We go to Machu Picchu, staying in all these amazing, it is world-class trip. And it is, from that aspect, it's a world-class trip. And it is absolutely life-changing. I know you're probably tired of us saying that, but it's a journey of a lifetime.
Well, and you know, the more I think about it, it really is more like it's a mastery school. It's a mystery school over 6 months. And when you come through it, you know, and you've journeyed and you've written, you will have become more of who you were born to be, no doubt, through this journey. So should we see if anybody has any questions?
Does anybody have any questions?
I just want to say, I just felt really rushed earlier because my puppy and traffic and everything and my kids needing me. But I just like being a part of the last journey, regardless of Teo, like even more, it's just like being able to have myself published. I didn't know what that was going to mean to me. And it's still playing out what that means to me. And I was so scared, you know, I was so scared to share my story. I had no idea what story was going to come out. And then just resting into this space and that was provided for me to realize like what needed to be shared for my own freedom. is the biggest part that I gained. And other people have now been able to change their lives because I chose this. And so it's just the most miraculous, selfless investment for everyone when you choose this. And I'm just so excited to see who comes and to get to hang out and get to know each other. It's just the most amazing bonding experience. And I'm so excited to see you guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Mary
you,
Rose.
Rose.
And there's Ruth Souther here. She just joined us. Hi, Ruthie. We've already shared about you. There's Ruthie, our blue-haired riding wrangler priestess. Hi, Ruthie.
Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I had a little surgery today and I was kind of sleeping. But I'm really glad to be here. And I got to tell you, this is one of the most phenomenal things. You've already shared about all that, but I promise you all, I will support you in every bit of your writing, and you have no fear to think that you can't write, because everyone can. Everyone has a story to tell. And I am really good at helping you get there.
She sure is. Thank you, Ruthie. Love you. Does anybody have any questions?
All right.
Any other questions?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, so when you said that, so we're paying for the domestic flight in Peru, and so how do we go about making that reservation? Like what happens?
Okay, so here's the reason we will book the flight. It'll be a chartered flight through Jorge's company when we get the final numbers, okay? And it is going to be really important that you all, if you say yes and you pay your deposit, that you talk to me about your flights coming in. What's gonna happen is most flights, unless they've changed, will leave on the 21st, and it'll be from wherever you are to Cusco, and you'll arrive in the morning at Cusco on the 22nd. When we go home, this is the thing that's a little tricky. When we go home, we finish at Lake Titicaca, and we have to fly from Juliaca, which is like a regional airport, back to Lima. That's the flight, that's the domestic flight that we'll book all together. And that'll be in the morning. And then all of our flights going home will be from Lima that evening.
Okay.
In the afternoon. Does that make sense?
And I want you all
And
to
what-
know that you
what-
will
sorry,
be.
what-
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Okay, so we're going to be leaving on the 21st to arrive morning of 22nd, and then we're flying home out of Lima on what date?
So it's the 4th that evening. Yeah, that
The
so
evening of the 4th. Okay, thank you.
yeah. Like again, I mean, you know, a lot of people last time kind of sent me a screenshot of their flights just to make sure. I'd rather, I mean, it's a lot, but I'd rather make sure that flights are right, and then trying to change flights afterwards is a
So
big
be
deal.
sure you check with Jeremy before you book your flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else have any other questions? I know you do. I know you
Well,
do.
and again, I mean, if you are interested and you want to, you know, again, our early bird, we actually extended it, but we'll be ending on the 15th. Please take advantage of that, you know, and of course you'll know if it's right for you. But if you kind of, I need more information, or if it's like a yes and you need more information, please reach out. We're here taking calls for a few more days, for sure. So
Yeah, and what I want you to know more than anything, I think you can hear it's going to be amazing, that's for sure. But what I really want you to know is that you're going to be guided and supported and cared for and held so that you can really vulnerably drop in and experience the medicine of Peru and the medicine of this journey and the medicine of you, so that you can feel empowered to share and to step into the truth that you are the one you've been waiting for, that we are the ones we've been waiting for, right? So, you know, if you know anybody that's worked with us or traveled with us, this isn't about hierarchy. This is about standing together and supporting each other, right? And being mirrors for each other. So you have my word and Jeremy's word, and you're going to be just rocked also by this experience with Laura DeFranco. I mean, this woman's vision, just a little, a little tidbit about her story that during COVID, she, this divine idea of like, I'm just going to write a book. Who wants to write it with me? And it was so profound. A story that literally saved someone's life created what has now become Brave Healer Productions with well over 50 best-selling books. All these words, these living beings, words and books, touching people's hearts and lives. And we're a part of that. So anyway, just wanted to share that. Anybody else have any other questions?
Yeah, I actually have a question. Hello
Awesome.
again here. It's Kibo yet again.
Hey,
And
Kibo.
yeah, yeah, man. Very glad to be here again, guys. I just wanted to know because I did tune in late, and I apologize. I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but I'm progressing. I just wanted to know what the cost would be, and your boy don't have what is it, a passport, so would I need to obtain one beforehand?
Yes. So
Absolutely.
you will absolutely need to get a passport. And you have plenty of time if you hop on that right now, and you can put a rush on it, but you wouldn't need to. So I would say if you're thinking about it, or I would move in that direction. And most of it depends on where you live. Some states now, in some areas, you have to go to the town hall to do it. It used to be you go to the post office. So you just have to do a search in your area and like, how do I get my passport? Because you might have to make an appointment at the town hall. So that's just a little piece of that.
All right.
I would
I
encourage you to go back and listen to the whole video, and we'll send that to Mary Rose, and then she can send it out to you just so you can maybe get those details. The cost of the whole process right now, the early bird is $66.99, so $6,699. That includes all of the book, the coaching, the classes, the 6-month journey, the interviews, all the stuff that happens through that, including the 2-week journey in Peru. And what it doesn't cover in Peru is your international airfare, that one domestic flight, and your lunch and dinner. Or, most people just eat one other meal when we're there. But yeah.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
Kibo, we have by February the 15th, that's the end of our early bird special. And so you can secure your spot with the deposit of $1,500. And that's really the commitment. It's just like step in, hear the call and step in. That's kind of what Mary Rose was saying. Like,
and we only have 25 people, right, total for this, so it's, as we form our group, it's really important that the group is formed, and so the deposit is important because we can't replace you, 30 days out from the trip. You know what I mean?
Understandable. Well,
Yeah.
hey man, it's been a lifetime goal to go to South America. I always have wanted to. So, hey man, let me go ahead and show up and show out. That's what this is.
Kibo, we really enjoyed, meeting you last week. I really, like I told you, my hands got hot when you were talking. I was like, I could feel your ancient mystery and history. So I'm excited that you're feeling called.
Absolutely. The manos got muy fuego.
Awesome. Hello, Shannon Ryan. Oh, we can't hear you. We're so glad you're here. Yeah. Well, we're actually, we're actually just finishing up here, but we'll send you the link, and we're so happy to see you here.
I'm happy to see you too. I miss you guys.
Yeah. We hope you join us.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Hey, it's good to see you guys again. Such an honor to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation. So I have a question. Is this all like written up somewhere where I can kind of look at it and just sit with it? You know, a link somewhere that you'll be sending out for the people that registered or something like that?
So
Yes.
if you go to
Okay.
if you go to shamanheart.org,
Uh-huh.
right, and shamanheart.org and go to journeys, you'll
Okay.
see it there. And so it's got the full kind of write up. It's got this itinerary of what we'll be doing in Peru, plus like what all is included in the whole process.
Oh,
And
thank you, Tina.
they would be happy to take a call.
Yeah,
You
just
know.
Okay,
if you,
perfect.
yeah, if you need to also, you want to meet with me or Jeremy just to kind of feel into it, or what about this? What about this?
Yes, it literally came into my field today.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I missed the other previous announcements, but today it was like full on in my field and I almost cried. So, you know, everything that everyone was saying resonates so much with my path. And you know, I know we've been aligned, Stephanie and Jeremy, for a while and been figuring out what that alignment might look like. And so I'm going to meditate with this and sit with this. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Well, and I want to share this with you because I'm witnessing, you know, I'm watching you. I get the privilege of watching you blooming, stepping into your power and your love. And so I've been watching that, and this, you know, being a part of a book. And then when it comes out, first of all, what happens throughout the whole process, but when it comes out, doing book signings and stepping into your words in your community, it changes your own reflection of yourself and your reflection to other people. You know,
Yes.
it helps illuminate that leadership that you are and the
Yes.
wisdom that you carry, right? When
Well,
you
I'm a published author, so I already have published. And so I published in 2018. So I've experienced that, and it really is a shift in the role that you play for the community. However, I've left that author, that person that wrote that book. I've changed my name. I've gotten divorced. I am stepping fully into my shaman path. And so I really want to publish under my spiritual name.
Oh,
Amazing.
so awesome. I'm so happy to see you. Anybody else have any questions?
We'll definitely share the
Well,
links and the video. I can't talk anymore. The recording.
Jorge, is there anything else you want to say? We have so much love and respect for you, and I don't know what else to say.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is reciprocal. You know, I'm so impressed how, you know, you bring the community. You know, it was just a few years ago when everything was very individual. And one of the ways, one of the elders told me, you know, the way now is the South. And he said, it's the Southern Cross teaching us. Look, in the North, the guide, it's only one star. But the future, the guidance is going to be a group. Okay? So there are 4 stars there. So the concept, you know, the idea of community. And as you know, in the Andean world, the Inca tradition, it plays very much with the Ayllu, which is the extended family. Thank you very much for this great opportunity. I think this is going to be really something. The bird of the new day, the new Pachacuti, the new Wilcacuti, the new Taripai Pacha. So it's so great to be at the sunrise, enjoying that beauty.
Thank you, Jorge. Thank you so much for your time. And
thank you, Jorge.
That's great. Okay.
So great.
Thank you.
Well, you guys, I think this is the end of our informational Zoom. Please don't hesitate, any of you, to reach out. Brittany Hernandez, Daniel Disa, how do you say that? Dijoki? Hello.
It's Juka.
Juka. Hi, where are you coming from?
I'm from the Netherlands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Welcome. How
Yeah.
wonderful.
Awesome.
Good to meet you.
Great to meet you too. It's so wonderful that our lives are connecting across the globe. Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Exciting, right?
Yes. Well, don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. All right.
Thank you so
everybody?
much.
All right.
All right.
Well, we want to say thanks, y'all, and we hope to see you in Peru.
Okay. And Shannon, our Shannon, we can take a call with you
Okay.
at some point if you want, for sure. So,
Cool.
Okay.
yeah.
All right,
Sorry
everybody.
about that time.
Bye. No, that's
Muchísimas gracias.
okay. Bye.
Stephanie and,
Bye,
and Jeremy,
everybody.
I have an
Thanks for the
unrelated thing.
Yeah.
Please send my love to Mandaza when you are in Zimbabwe and South
We
Africa.
will.
And Marietta as well. And the whole group.
Okay.
My heart is with you all.
Okay.
Thank
We
you.
will. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
Jorge.
Jorge.